Hello, guys. Here we are talking about Indiana basketball. Thank you for joining me. Let's get the old music off here. But hope you're having a fine day. It is snowy up here in Fort Wayne. I was gonna make a regular video today, but my daughter's school was off. People are such wussies these days with the snow. It is like they just cancel school all the time, and they never think about parents that work or parents that do this. But I digress. It's just how it is. But beautiful day up here. Leave your comments over here on the side. We will get to them. And let me pull them up. I can see Nickel Stacker in here. Thank you for all the comments. Yes. But we're going to be talking about the Indiana Hoosiers basketball team. And for some reason, I'm sick again. I don't know if it's from the cold or my daughter is in preschool. So I seem to, and I don't really want to blame uh, I don't even want to say the name on here, the VID, but it seems like ever since then I've gotten sick more times. Maybe my immune system is it's dying. But we're going to talk about the Hoosiers here. This was a fantastic game. Before we get into it all, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notifications. You get notifications every time I go live. And I've been making a ton more live videos after the football games. And tomorrow we'll talk about the football game. I wanted to just break it up in two different episodes. But what is going on with the Hoosiers? And also hit that thumbs up button. It'll probably be on this video or the video tomorrow, but I'll pick one subscriber. I'm going to pick a subscriber that will win the shirt at 3,500. So we got that, and we got a big giveaway at 4,000 coming up. This really awesome sweater I got, this IU sweater. So it looks like one of those old time, like 50s, almost like letter jacket type sweaters that like Danny wore in Greece. But yeah, we'll get into talking about the game. I mean, there was a lot of good in this game. I cannot believe how great this team plays together for a bunch of guys that didn't even know each other. Just let me make sure something on here real quick. Make sure. Can you hear me okay? The microphone is plugged in. All right. Sometimes this like switches back to. There we go. All right. Put it back on the regular microphone. But this team, what they are showing so far, I think they're going to surprise a lot of people after that game. And I know we'll talk about all the players. And IU really took control of this game midway through, like the first half, and really never looked back. I mean, Marquette one time tried to maybe got it down to 13, and Indiana hit some shots and stretched it right back out to 20. I mean, how much fun is it to watch a team that can shoot the ball? I mean, one of Tucker DeVries's threes in the first half, and he was phenomenal in the first half. He's the first player we need to get into. This dude is way underrated. Maybe because he played in the MVC. Did he play in the MVC because he wasn't talented enough to go up to another level? Or, did he learn there and develop and play with his dad? Because this dude looks like he should have played in Division I from like the very beginning. Not Division I, but just at like the Power 5 schools. I'm impressed by the way that he is a lot bigger and just, I don't want to call him like he's flabby, but he is like got a wide type of figure, a wide type of body. I think that really helps him get a shot off too, combined with his 6'7" size. I mean, one that he came off and hit where it was like a fadeaway, and then he was trash talking the other team. Like, you just love to see this type of energy out of the Hoosiers, and we have not seen it for years. I mean, I was thinking during that game, it's like, well, I was thinking while I was watching DeVries's press conference, is like Mike Woodson would have been there going like, well, these guys, they got to learn how to play together and learn that. I wonder if Mike Woodson was watching that game, because second game of the season, this team looks like they've been playing together for a while, which is kind of it's just kind of shocking, to watch them I really didn't know what to expect in that Marquette game. I thought it would be more of a battle down the stretch, and I knew Marquette had more guys coming back. They had like 11 guys, so I just thought, well, they're going to have more continuity. Look at this. Shaka Smart, in 17 seasons that he's coached, no team has ever scored 100 points on them. When your coach is going out there and you're doing stuff like that, like you do something to a team like that and a coach like that, and now maybe they might be complete garbage. I know I think they're in the 50s in Ken Palm or something like that, but they could be complete garbage. But when you watch them in that game, you just don't think that Indiana's going to lay 100 points on them. And really, I mean, we had the scrubs in with 4.5 minutes left in the game. And really, with 10 minutes left, I was just rewatching the game and taking some more notes. It's like with 10 minutes left, it was 20 points. I mean, 10 minutes left, we had 80 points with 10 minutes left in the game. So we really didn't even, yeah, I think it was like the second half, it was 39-44. We scored 44 and they scored 39. So, I mean, we did most of our damage in the first half. But then in the second half, you got this 1-2 punch with Tucker and Lamar Wilkerson. And then Lamar Wilkerson gets hot and he takes over the game. And it's just on from there. I mean, those two dudes are our main. And here's what they're doing really well. They are scheming in ways to get those guys shots. I mean, you can just tell now, like Conway took one and missed it. I like to see him get more confidence. Like, I still think like he will be the X factor when those two guys are getting covered. If Conway and Enright took one, that he was a little bit deep on that one, but I thought he had a good balance and got the shot up good. It just didn't go in. And guys that aren't as good as shooters, when you play at a different place like the United Center, it is a really big arena. I mean, it's not like a dome, but you can just tell the way the seats are stacked there. It's really like cavernous when you look at it. But yeah, we'll go through like a couple of the team stats here. They ended up 33 of 66 in field goals. And leave your comments, so we'll get to the comments here in just a minute. But yeah, they did get they got out rebounded 34-30. That is one spot. I mean, everybody on this team is going to have to rebound together. And that is one of the emphasis of DeVries. The other thing, the fouls early on, they were really Enright fouled out of the game, but it wasn't like a factor that he fouled out of the game. But Reed Bailey got a couple of fouls early on. They were just calling everything, and Indiana was really aggressive, and that they were just getting a little handsy. I mean, some of these dudes, they had to be like super jacked up, hyped up to play in the United Center and everything like that. So, they adjusted to the way the calls were going, but it was one of those games where the first half they called it one way and the second half they called it an entire other way. I thought Tom Crean was great on the broadcast. I don't think they could have picked a guy who would have been a better representation of, Marquette and Indiana to do that game as the color. I've never had a big time problem with Tom Crean. It's, he is who he is. He's a good basketball coach, and he did a lot of good things at Marquette and at Indiana. But let's go through the rest of these stats here. Threes, we like overall field goal percentage, 50%. The 14 of 28 on threes and 20 of 24 on free throws. That's a beautiful thing. You just keep that right around something like that. 83% from the free throw line. 30 total rebounds, and there are 34 total rebounds. And Marquette, they weren't. I kind of thought Indiana was going to start taking command of the game because they were getting a lot of their points off of free throws. Excuse me. My nose is running. But 29 to 33 on free throws. They were shooting 87% from the free throw line. And Marquette ended up 4 of 16 on three-pointers. That's the other thing. Like, now that we have all these shooters, we can practice being up on these guys in practice. Like, the guys who have to be up on them, Tate and Conway, DeVries, I think, and maybe Marquette is a terrible 3-point shooting team, but 4 or 16, you'll take that all day. If a team shoots 25% from the 3-point line, you're going to take that. And they shot 37% on field goals. They were 22 of 59. Indiana was disrupting them, and IU had 3 blocks. The 27 assists were unbelievable. And we'll get into the individual player stats. Lamar Wilkerson with 8 assists. That's pretty great, because when you got a 2 guard that can pass like that, and he's a guy who, people are going to guard him tight. Same with Tucker DeVries. Him and Tucker DeVries, when they guard them real tight around the 3-point line, they can drive in, they can make things happen. You just notice how wide open the lane is. And, I want to talk about a couple of Sicily's jams in the game, because I thought Connor Enright played a great game. Hold up because Enright ended up, only with 7 points, but 5 assists, 2 rebounds in 22 minutes. That's not terrible for him. I thought he had some great. He had one great drive where, he threw it up to Trent Sicily coming off and Trent Sicily had some really nice aggressive plays, a dunk in the lane. He ended up in this game. It was good to see him get some more confidence, but he ended up playing 30 minutes in this game with 5 rebounds, 1 assist, and 15 points. The balanced scoring is what is so great to see. We got our main 2 dudes, and this is what in the past years, I've always looked at like other teams' stats, and the teams we're getting beat by, they do have more balanced scoring. They'd have like 4 or 5 guys, in regularly in like double figures, where IU just like was what we've had, just terrible offenses. That's the thing. So we weren't putting up that many points to begin with. We played a lot of games in the 60s and just not able to get over the hump per se. You know what I'm saying? So he never hit 14 threes. When they hit 15 in one of the exhibition games, I said that in the last 8 years, Archie Miller or Mike Woodson, that they'd never hit 15 threes. So I'm guessing they never hit 14 even in a game. And I think this team could take a lot more threes in this. I think in this game, and the way that some teams are going to guard them, they're just going to drive, and they're just going to take what the defense gives them at certain times. And look, that's as good as anything. If you get a free layup, take it. But you're seeing them get those wide open lane looks. It's just such a breath of fresh air. I can't say like there's any cliches of like what we're watching is something that is way more fun to watch. And this is modern basketball, and Indiana is just known for having guys that shoot and run motion. That's the other thing. It's like the type of offense, it's just so much more enjoyable to watch. It's not this slog, working the ball up the floor, work a little bit around the perimeter, but we're looking for an entry pass into the post. And then the other teams would just put like 3 guys right in the lane. The other thing, when you're shooting more threes, and maybe these guys will get used to this, but you do get a lot of longer rebounds. So, but they do have to work on their rebounding and their fouling. They definitely have things to work on in these next games. I can't really believe how great the continuity is for Indiana. For being a bunch of dudes, 12 dudes that never played together. And it just goes to show you, when you have a concrete plan and you bring in the type of assistant coaches DeVries did, you bring in, it's the type of players that he's looking for that are making the biggest difference. So all these dudes seem like they really want to play for each other and they really want to fight. Sam Alexis had a pretty great game. This guy, I think, is better than a lot of people thought. And I heard, Crean say during the broadcast, is like, if he wasn't injured, he probably would have maybe been able to play for Florida more last year. Florida had incredible bigs. That was one thing. They had 2 sets of bigs but the thing is, you see, like, and I watched that Florida team a lot last year. They did have big guys, but the types of big guys they had, even though Colston, I don't remember all their names, but the 4 dudes that they brought in, they use them more in the way that Indiana's using these guys as screeners and rollers, not back to your basket play. Now, sometimes that just happens. Like, I mean, Sam Alexa's got like a post up, or, sometimes you're going to get somebody one on one and back them down. I mean, that's still a part of basketball. I'm not saying like they're going to, you don't go away from that entirely, but you make the offense about the shooting, about the three pointers, and then everything feeds off of that. But it is like the modern Hoosiers 2.0, the Hurry and Hoosiers 2.0, um, because they are running more. They're not playing as much. Like Bob Knight's motion offense was more passing and ball control, and just I think some of the concepts and everything were different because I mean DeVries runs a lot more stuff just off of the perimeter. It's too. I mean, when you get a guard screening for a guard around the 3-point line, and they run like a lot of variations of it. I noticed they run like the ghost screen a lot. Like he comes up and then he cuts down in. It's wherever there's motion like that, you put their defense in the situation where they kind of have to make a decision. Is he coming up to screen me here or do this? Is he going to dump the ball to him? But Indiana does a great job so far. Is whenever they do get the ghost screen or somebody like up top, and as soon as there becomes two guys looking at the ball at the same time, they pass it right over the top to Reed Bailey. And he was one. I wanted to bring him up. I mean, he got some fouls early on. He played with 3 fouls. I think he had 3 fouls in the first half. I don't think he fouled out, but it's just, he was one of that was a victim of some of the fouls early. And um, he ended up in the game at 13 minutes. Yeah, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, and 5 points. So, um, you had really Alexis and Sicily come in, and I don't think Sicily, he can't really play down low. He's more of a forward, but he is a bigger dude for a freshman. I'm impressed with his athleticism. I was impressed with some of the dunks he had in this game. And just if you watch all these dudes, they get back on defense. I mean, they sprint back on defense. It's just not the expectation of the coach has to be really high because we saw in the years past, like guys did not sprint back on defense, and it was just awful to watch. But yeah, Russell, the game. I found like one clip on YouTube that was like almost an hour long that just about had every single play. I mean, it was cut up. Some like Chinese company or something put it on there. So who knows how long it'll stay on there. Um, I think what's most exciting is Carrie says DeVries is obvious a good X's and O's coach, whereas also obvious that Archie and Woody were not, and we had to suffer through that. Yep. And man, I would watch the game because I really kind of forgot that that's how it started out with Archie Miller. But they played Indiana State in like one of those first games and got beat by 30 points at home. And that was a different time. I mean, 2016, 2017, Crean had that team that really underperformed that one year. And then OG Ananobi and some of those guys left. Troy Williams was then gone. And he had that team that was ranked and people got hurt. And then Archie came in the next year, but it was just like a different time where you thought, well, it's going to take him like 2 or 3 years. Like that's not it anymore. Like we got our football coach at the exact right time. I'm going to tell you, I think we got this basketball coach at the exact right time. Like the time for DeVries to come in. And I think what really helps is that he just did this at West Virginia and he was familiar with like how he had to put it together, how to put a coaching staff together, how to, interview guys out of the portal and get them get the idea of like what they really want out of their college basketball career. Do you want to play at Indiana? Do you want to be here? Do you want, you don't want guys that play for you that don't want to be here. So it is a breath of fresh air for sure. Yeah, still what a great assist record on the game. Yeah, it was like unbelievable. The shots to assist. I mean, Indiana, they're not a bunch of selfish players anymore. I mean, that is part of the reason it's such a breath of fresh air. It is. Oh man, and I definitely do. I want to beat UK's ass too. Um, it's gonna. We got some tough games coming up. Kansas State is the next big game coming up in a couple of weeks. But we got Milwaukee next, and um, so give Indiana a little bit of time to maybe figure some things out. But you watch this team on the second game. I mean, we're just a couple weeks into November, and they look as like together, and you don't see guys like moving where you think, oh, that was just a pass. You know, you do see that early in the season more where guy throws the ball out of bounds. He's just not used to playing with this guy, like where he's going to be and that type of thing. But you really don't see it out of this group. They really seem connected. I mean, that's the only way to really describe it is like the way he's put this together. I got to say, only 2 games in, and there's still a long, long way to go. I mean, there still could be and there will be injuries that every season takes on like its own type of thing. I'm still thinking that Indiana could get a 4 seed if they I think they're going to be in the top 5 in the Big 10 for sure after watching this and just knowing DeVries's record. Look at his record. Google him. He wins too. He doesn't go places and lose. So, yeah, so his overall record I think speaks for itself. And you know where some guy, Archie Miller didn't do it in the big time. And, maybe people could say that about DeVries because he was at Drake for quite a while. But I think with the guys he coaching under McDermott, I just think his overall experience there, where he's been around coaching for a long, long time. You can He has kind of a sternness about him. You can tell he expects the best from the players. You can tell he's hard on guys. You can tell, like, on the bench, he's up. He's like, go, go, go. He's like energetic and getting guys to move, and you can really tell that he is a driver there. Um, but sometimes I think in the press conferences and that stuff, he is just a man of like fewer words than like a Kurt Signetti. But after the game, he had a lot of stuff to say about just like their playing style and yeah, they probably will be. I mean, right now they're in a good position because it's like I don't know how many it'll take a while before teams watch some film on them. Right now it's so new and that game they looked really good. And let's face it, like Marquette, we have no idea how Marquette's going to do. But the reason why we didn't get into the tournament some of these last years where like other teams like Michigan State maybe had 20 wins or 21 was because our metrics were so bad. When you play against a team like Marquette, see, Indiana like never would blow teams out like this, and that kills your metrics. Yes, are you going to have a game this year where you have a bad shooting night and you don't make as many shots? Yes, but the way they pick these teams now, they Ken Palm breaks down like every single possession into your offensive efficiency, your defensive efficiency, all that type of stuff. It's all exposed. So when you have games where like Indiana where you give up 60 points to Illinois in the first half and just literally like give up on the game. I think they had what about 5 or 6 of those last year. Every time they played a game like that, it was like their metrics and Ken Palm just took a complete nosedive. And by it should because if you're a team out there and you give up on yourself and you can't bring it back together or at least get the game back to every team is going to go on runs. It's just that I don't see this to be a team that like when they're down by 20, they're going to hang their head and give up on the game completely. It's just that mentality of fighting like every possession till the very end. We have that on the football team and now I'm pretty sure we have it on the basketball team. It's yeah. I mean last year they were ranked like what 13th or 16th to start the year. So Let's see what Rhino said here. This team reminds me of the Kelvin Sampson year when Eric Gordon when they were rolling. Yeah, that was a great year. He was bringing, he had some good players there with DJ White and those dudes. No, and I said it earlier in the video. No coach, I looked this up. Like in 17 years of coaching, Shaka Smart, he's never given up 100 points, and he is a defensive minded coach. I mean, I've watched a few specials on him in the past years when his teams were, making some runs in the Sweet 16, and I mean, he is a defensive. And normally his teams do play with like great energy because he is a coach that has a lot of great energy himself. So I was kind of surprised that Indiana just so easily just kind of waxed them. And, Lamar Wilkerson is maybe kind of more unknown than we thought. I think he's, I think we have two guys like between him and DeVries, we might have two of the best shooters in the country between those two guys. Not gonna say I think they are. They are two of, I think by the time this season's over with, like we have two of the best shooters in the country on our team. I mean, our biggest I think thing that we're just going to deal with is like when teams adjust, how are they going to play against Indiana? Will they try to take that away? Um, I see those two guys, the way that Indiana's offense moves and moves the ball so much, and that it's almost like anybody can score as well when they're covering those guys. Other guys step up, Sicily, Alexis, even like Reed Bailey in the game before had a better game. I think we have other dudes that we can go to and run some variations. But I think we're actually running like real college offensive plays. Like we look, I I don't think DeVries actually runs like a ton of like sets. I've heard him say that before, but he has like a lot of like concepts that he likes to run to get the ball in different people's hands. I mean, you could definitely tell in the first half when Tucker DeVries is so hot. I mean, they were going to him over and over again. And he was running around, running off of screens, just making it really difficult for the defense to chase him around out there. Yeah, I think this is the best shooting team since the greatest team was like the 93 team, I believe, or 94 team was like the best 3-point shooting team by percentage wise that Indiana ever had. And like, because we had Todd Leary on that team and Pat Graham and Damon Bailey was a good shooter and everybody on that team could shoot. It was before, you watch some of those older games, like Bailey didn't always shoot like a ton of threes. He did shoot a lot of mid range shots. Um, and even like Henderson could shoot. He didn't shoot a lot of threes, but he could shoot. Um, and Brian Evans could shoot threes. And who am I missing? I mean, Calbert Cheney was obviously a awesome shooter. I think so. It's I think this team is the best shooting team we've had in a long time, and it's good. I mean, you can tell they're a good shooting team because they nearly make all their free throws like every game. I don't know if that'll continue, but I mean, that was always like a staple of the Bob Knight teams. There was always something growing up in Indiana that was just pounded into your head. It's like, make the free throws. They're free throws, for God's sake, just make the free throws. Um, so yeah, and that's the sign of a great shooting team. It's like, I mean, in this game, they were like, I think 24 or 27 or something like that on the free throws. So yeah, 20 at 24. And yeah, that's 83%. If you're as a team, if you're hovering around 75%, I think our big guys are pretty good at shooting free throws. That's where you normally lose a lot of your percentage points is like, Matt Nover is not as good at shooting free throws, or you got a couple of big guys on your team that just maybe shoot around 50%. It kind of pulls your average down, but in your guard shoot better. Connerway in this game didn't get a ton of chances to score, but they really didn't need him to. He ended up with uh like 4 points, 8 assists, and but I still like his presence. I mean, he's a great passer. Actually, every guy on this team is a pretty good passer. That's what I've noticed so far. The value on passing is huge. Lexus is a good passer out of the post. I mean, Enright, obviously, our guards are good passers. Enright and Connerway might be the best two, but Lamar Wilkerson's a great passer. And to have a dude that's that good of a shooter that is going to get double teamed a lot by people, find the open man, that makes everything so much easier. Let's see who else. Yeah, Josiah Miles got in the game. It was good to see him. And then all the scrubs like Schnibly, Stevens, those dudes got in with about 4 minutes. And yeah, our rebounding was pretty like flatlined. We had DeVries had 5, Bailey had 5 rebounds. And then I did not in offensive rebounds, I think Indiana definitely has to focus on offensive rebounds. Just because of when you're shooting that many threes, the more offensive rebounds you can get, obviously, the more threes you can put up. And when you're just looking at numbers and percentages, those mean a lot. Yeah, Indiana ended up with 9 offensive rebounds. They ended up with 10 offensive rebounds. So, I mean, you want to see that more. I mean, I don't know, 15 of those a game would give you like 6 extra possessions when you get. So I never just killed me about the Mike Woodson system because, and he said this in a press conference, he wants 3 guys getting back. Well, did they even get back on defense and not have guys rebound? But IU will definitely have to put a focus on offensive rebounding. A lot of times you see them blocking out and this, sometimes rebounds can go like this way or that way, but this game, I'll tell you, there's not a whole lot to complain about. I mean, I'm nitpicking like little things, and I'm sure the coach is too. You want to keep these guys, really. You want to keep these guys. You want to keep these guys staying positive and keeping things moving together, moving forward, so they just keep gaining more and more confidence before the Big Ten season starts. Kentucky, that's going to be a tester. Kansas State, the next game, that will be one where you're playing just a touch up competition wise. And that'll be a good game to get you ready for the Louisville game and the Kentucky game. And, we played Minnesota and Penn State early on. The Louisville game's like sandwiched in between those games. So that, and that's at Gamebridge. So that'll be a good opportunity for Indiana on a neutral site to get more used to playing there. They already played one. They played that exhibition there. So it'd be a good chance for them to get in there, play there again with some of these guys, like, not being from Indiana or not playing for Indiana. Who knows how many guys have actually played there. But the more comfortable you are with your surroundings and going to places. All right. You think IU moved up to 22? I was just going to check that. But that is about all I have for today. It's Woodson, he did not recruit. He didn't do it. I think he just took the best guys he could get and really did not think about how this was all going to fit together. It's fun to watch. We finally have a real college basketball coach, and it's been a while. Like, we have a dude here that is experienced and knows what he's doing and is able to put this together in a way that, look, more than anything, you just want to turn the game on. You want to watch the guys fight hard. You want to watch them fight for the rebounds. That's what Indiana basketball is. It's like you got this like gritty determination, this gritty desire to go after every loose ball. And that was always what I thought the biggest difference was between watching like Indiana and other teams, is like how they were coached by night and the way that the guys played. They always seemed like they were playing hard. Towards the very end, maybe they did not look like they were playing hard in some of those last tournament games, but it's definitely the Hoosiers 2.0 are here. And there's just a ton to be excited about. I could go on and on and on all night about just the way that they looked and how
different guys are performing. Um, yeah, DeVries is just putting them in the right spots to really make it happen, and that's easier said than done. But it's experience. It's you know you watch if you watch 25 years of basketball or you've coached for 25 years of basketball like Darren DeVries, he's seen a lot of stuff, and I'm pretty sure he's got a pretty good idea of like what he's doing at this point after all of that time. So it's here to stay. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Indiana Sports Connection. Until next time, stay classy out there, Hoosier fans.